I'm sad. You've been out all night. No, you've been bad. Don't tell me different. No, it's
Hello, welcome to the Ascent of Mount Carmel YouTube channel. This channel is devoted to a reading and better understanding of the book Ascent of Mount Carmel by St. John of the Cross. If you haven't checked out any of those videos, please do so. This is the Catholic Urban Legends Revealed playlist. In this playlist, we look at some claims that we don't think are necessarily true. I wanted to do an installment on the question of whether science is compatible with religion. This is because I know I've seen several YouTube videos on the subject. But I went on to YouTube looking for them, and I went to some of the atheist channels, and it seemed that they were all very, very shrill, and it seems that a lot of them like to extol the virtue of critical thinking. I have yet to see a video that extols the virtue of critical thinking that actually employs critical thinking. Every video that I've seen that uses that phrase actually shows a lot of disjointed and unorganized thought and seems to ramble. As I look for a video to use as a counterpoint to my argument, because I didn't just want to have a straw man argument without anything on the other side, I just was really having a hard time. So I do want to give kudos to the video that I am going to show. It's from a channel called Atheist Voice, and the gentleman is very polite. He is very calm. He's very measured. I really don't agree with much of anything he says, but I think that I might like him because he does seem very friendly, and in fact I think he has a blog called The Friendly Atheist, so I do want to give him kudos for being concise and measured.
I think if you are a devoutly religious person and someone who accepts the scientific method, something's gotta give. Whenever science succeeds, religion loses, because a gap of knowledge that was once unknown has now been filled by something that's not God. And they can't both be true. And religion has lost every single time. We know literal, actual miracles don't happen. And I believe we have to choose one or the other. You get the idea. This notion that science and religion are truly compatible, it sounds nice, but it's an idea that is just well past its expiration date.
I answer that good science and good religion are never at odds with one another. This is a big subject and I'm not going to take it all on with a very short video. I'll just mention in passing that Roger Bacon was the founder of the scientific method. As you recall, the Atheist Voice said that the scientific method and religion are not compatible, yet Roger Bacon was a Catholic cleric. He did his research under the patronage of the Catholic Church. Many of the world's greatest scientists and mathematicians were Catholic clerics. I submit to you that the Catholic Church has been the greatest benefactor and patron of the sciences in the history of mankind. But since this is going to be just a short video, we're just going to concentrate on one thing, and that's the Big Bang Theory. And I want to say, first off, the Big Bang Theory is still just a theory. It may not be true. If it's someday proven, it is not contradicted by religion. If it is someday disproved, that would also not be contradicted by religion. Let's take a look at an article from space.com which shows the sequence of the Big Bang and juxtapose it against the creation story as told by the Bible. Let's see whether the two stories are compatible. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth, and the earth was void and empty, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved over the waters. Space.com says that in the beginning, the universe was too hot for light to shine. The universe was in darkness. Space.com continues that in the beginning, the heat of creation smashed atoms together with enough force to break them up into a dense plasma. Plasma is a liquid. For the ancient Hebrews to have described this, there'd be no better way for them to do that than to describe it as the waters. And God said, "Be light made," and light was made. And God saw the light that it was good. And he divided the light from the darkness. Space.com tells us that roughly 380,000 years after the Big Bang, matter cooled enough for atoms to form during the era of reconciliation, resulting in a transparent electrically neutral gas. This set loose the initial flash of light created during the Big Bang. And God said, "Let there be a firmament made amidst the waters." Space.com tells us that about 400 million years after the Big Bang, clumps of gas emerged from the plasma and collapsed enough to form the first stars and galaxies, the first firmament. So who was the founder of the Big Bang Theory? Well, it was Georges Lemaître, a Belgian physicist and a Catholic priest. Do you think he was persecuted by the Catholic Church? Well, actually the opposite. In 1951, Pope Pius XII declared that Lamettriere's theory provided a scientific validation for Catholicism. Was he treated as well by the scientific community? No. Actually, if anything, he got persecuted by the scientific community. His proposal met with skepticism from his fellow scientists at the time. Eddington found Lamettiere's notion unpleasant. Einstein found it suspect because he deemed it unjustifiable from a physical point of view. So as we said earlier, good science and good religion never conflict. With additional discoveries, science may someday catch up with religion. I'd like to thank my son, the physicist, for inspiring this video. We'll be back again with another video soon. In the meantime, please pray for the church.
Could it be an urban legend?
Urban legend.
Ah!